Okay, so here we are, episode 8. A new adventure in the last frontier. And we're excited because we have a guest, and I'm really excited to introduce my nephew, Phin, who is born and raised in Pennsylvania. Been a Pennsylvania outdoorsman his whole life, but he's now working towards being a guide in Alaska. You're on your second season as a packer.
Yep.
And you can kind of explain that because he had to explain it to me, the difference between a packer and a guide and how you kind of become a guide in Alaska. Kind of have to do a couple of seasons as a packer. So kind of your entry into the guide world.
Yep.
But I want him to
hold on.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, your parents at birth determined your destination for your business. I mean, Phin is not a banker's name. It's not like, hey, I'd like to come close my home loan. Oh, Phin's your guy. No, Phin screams to me,
I want to go hunt moose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If somebody calls me up on the phone and says, hey, I got a 60-inch moose here. Oh, yeah. What's your name? Phin. I'm with them. Yep. I'm with them. If he says, hey, I got your car loan, I'm with somebody else's bank.
Yeah, they set me right up.
Yeah. They did.
I like it.
So Barry wants to know, would you say that being a Pennsylvania outdoorsman got you prepared for Alaska?
Don't you mean prepared?
He's hired. Yeah. We just hired him. I like it.
Yeah, so I would say actually being born and raised in Pennsylvania, spending time in the woods here.
Yeah.
I feel better prepared for jumping into Alaska than I think a lot of people are who don't come from an Alaskan background.
Yeah. Okay. That surprises me to hear that because I just feel like there's such a difference. And having been in Alaska myself for a hunt years ago, there seems like such a difference between Pennsylvania outdoors, Pennsylvania climate, Pennsylvania wildlife, and Alaska. But Pennsylvania is kind of wild and it's kind of rugged. And we have a lot of opportunities to spend a lot of your time in the outdoors.
Yeah, so it's different, but in a lot of ways, things here prepared me in ways I wouldn't have even expected. Our winters aren't as brutal as they are in Alaska, but I've spent every year since I was little, going out in the snow. And when you're, 4.5 feet tall, a foot of snow is
a lot of snow.
So now
it's still a lot of snow for me because I'm only 5 feet tall now.
So now, I mean, I go out in all that snow in Alaska and it's like, oh, I've been tromping through snow that came up to my waist since I was a little kid. So it's not really that different.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, I think it was just how early I was introduced to the outdoors because we have a pretty good thriving outdoors scene in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It, just got my foot in the door.
Right.
Learning to navigate through a lot of public land hunting. It's all stuff that you keep in the back of your mind and you don't lose it.
Right.
And so it translates pretty well to going up there and you're covering more distance, but it's the same basic concept of, setting your landmarks and knowing how long it's going to take you to cover distance. All of that has pretty well set me up to be able to cover land there and find my way home.
Well, and your dad and you growing up, I kind of have a unique perspective because I watched him grow up, but your dad and you were pretty diehard deer hunters.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, you hunted some pretty big tracts of state game lands.
Yeah.
Particularly that one, the newer state game lands that was purchased out, the Walltown,
Irishtown Road.
Area.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big
Game Lands 87.
That's a big chunk of land out there, and you guys traipsed all over that all the time. I think, right?
Yep, I've covered tons of Game Lands 87.
Yeah,
and more than once, I've been out there late and found my way back when it was pretty dark out.
Which is most of Alaska time during hunting season, right?
Yeah, so there's kind of that trade-off that happens right around the start of hunting season where you go from it's light all the time, 2 a.m. you walk out of your cabin and you can read a book. And then there's a very sudden shift to, well, now it's 6 o'clock at night and it's dark. And that's all in the 2-month span of our hunting season. So, you have a hunt, you get on a bear and it's already getting kind of late. You're pushing it. You shoot the bear, skin it out. And by the time you're done and ready to head back to camp, it's dark out. You're making your way home in the night.
We just, my family just got back 4 days ago from an Alaska cruise. And we went up through, the Ketchikan and Anchorage and all that stuff. And that was really weird to me. At, 11:30 p.m.
Yep.
You walk outside and it looks like it's 4 p.m.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, let's go eat again. You can't go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's too light out,
Yep.
I mean, this is, the beginning of June. So we're not even to the longest daylight at this point.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, we have a lot of fun at the lodge when we're not in the hunting season. During the summer, we do, a lot of work renovating the property. We'll have dinner at 7 o'clock, and then someone says, well, let's go play a game of volleyball, or let's go canoe on the lake. And suddenly someone says, hey, it's 2 a.m. We should think about going to bed. And it's still bright out, and you never would have known it was that late.
Yeah. When I was on Kodiak Island, it was early August. And I can remember, you go there and it's daylight and you want to hunt and you want to fish while there's daylight. So we'd be up at, 4 or 5 in the morning, breaking camp for the day, getting ready to go hunt. We'd hunt till 11:30 at night. And that's all well and good day 1 and day 2. But by day 3, your body is like mine anyway, was just shutting down. You're just so tired because you're not sleeping, because it's just, we've trained ourselves as Pennsylvania hunters. When it's daylight, you're pounding ground. I mean, you're hunting, And so you do that there, but it's daylight 20 hours out of the day. So it just wears you out.
Yeah, especially here in PA. So like rifle season, it's dark out by 5:30?
Yeah.
6 o'clock maybe if you're lucky. So you go out there and it'd be hard to limit yourself. I mean, I don't know.
It was hard for me.
Yeah.
So because I hit the ground running, and it's like, there's animals. I got to go get on right now because I have a condensed, it's just, you have that condensed period of time that you can hunt.
Yeah.
And then by the time I realized I can slow down and relax, I don't have to go, nuts, 100 miles an hour, because you just got all this time. And by the time I realized that, the hunt was over and I was on my way back home. So,
hurting the whole ride back.
Can anybody at this table think about Teddy not going 100 miles an hour? Anybody? Anybody? Raise your hand now. For those listening at home, nobody's raising their hand.
But then you come back from a trip like that and you go to hunt Pennsylvania, and that's one stark difference, because then I got into mindset of I can go slow, I can take my time. And so I did that when I got home, and it was like, the day's over. It's dark now.
That's what I do.
Shoot.
Yeah, that's actually a very consistent thing with a lot of our hunters. Our clients come up there and they've done, lower 48 hunting for all their lives.
Yeah.
And they come up.
I need to have something in my hands. I'm sorry.
And they're all about getting up early. They're like, the sun's out. Let's get after it. 6 in the morning. And often we have to tell them, we've got to do a whole season of this. We're going to
pace yourself.
Yeah, we're going to pace ourselves. We're going to have breakfast at camp. We're going to ride out at 9 in the morning or something, because it's going to be light for a while.
Yeah.
And
so what time does the animals move then? If it doesn't get, are they just always moving? Because it's
they're kind of
cold
always
and
moving, and sometimes they're not moving at all. And it's interesting. It's very species dependent and rut dependent. So you'll see with bears, grizzlies, and black bears, they are always on the move.
They're always eating.
They're always eating. We've got a ton of blueberry cover. Our river has salmon later in the season. The bears, the slowest you'll see a bear going is he's locked on food. He's eating berries. And he'll slow down for a while and eat in that patch of berries, but then he's moving again. Mm-hmm. The moose are a bit of a different story. Start of the rut, they're moving a lot. But a big bull, he picks up a couple cows. He's going to bed down and hang out with those cows. So a lot of times you'll see a moose and you'll think, oh, he's pretty good looking from here. We'll get closer. get a better idea of what, that moose is, if he's a shooter or not. And we oftentimes won't shoot him that day. We'll go back to camp, sleep, get up a little earlier the next morning. He's still going to be right there if he's got 2 or 3 cows. He doesn't want to leave them. We'll go get on that bull, and it gives us the whole day to work on skinning them, quartering them, and packing them out.
So you don't have to take care of them in the dark in bear country.
Exactly.
Well, because I hear that a lot. Like, they say the real work on a moose hunt starts when you drop a moose.
Exactly.
That's when the fun's over and the work starts. And that's a big animal to get out of the woods.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when you're buckling down, and it's a chore to get a moose, 1,500-pound animal. It's no small feat. You got to skin them.
1,500 pounds.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So how many people are in your group that help, say, a hunter harvest? And then is there 4 or 5 of you guys that come in and help pack that out, or you just make
so it's
20 trips?
Kind of situationally dependent. We'll have, oftentimes we'll have a guide and a packer, which is me in training to become a guide. But sometimes you'll have a full-fledged guide and he has no packer. And so what we'll do is we'll have 2 guides out of the same camp. One guide shoots a moose and he says, hey, could I get your help packing this moose out? But we're in kind of a unique situation where we do everything from horseback. So we're not carrying moose quarters on our back the whole way to camp. We'll get our horses as close as we can, oftentimes right up to the kill, and then we can load onto our horses, so it saves a ton of heavy lifting on our parts.
Oh, yeah.
And we can get that moose out of there. 2 guys, the guide and the hunter can load a moose onto usually about 3 horses. And if you've got a packer...
3 horsepower.
Yeah.
That's a lot of power.
Takes 3 horsepower to pull a moose. That's what I heard.
Exactly.
So, but even the quartering and the cutting of the animal, I mean, you're 1,500 pounds. That's not something.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done an elk. That's 500-600 pounds. That just, in my mind, I'm running through that scenario right now, trying to hold up a quarter myself and then get it on the back of a horse.
Yeah, so that's not a small feat either. Say the client wants a shoulder mount for their moose. We're skinning them out. You have to skin one side of them and get that quarter off. Then you've got to roll them over. It's not easy just to roll them over.
Oh my gosh, I never thought of that. Yeah.
And
the logistics of just even cutting them up is crazy.
That hide alone, just for a shoulder mount, you're going to have 100 pounds of hide. And then you've got, your big bull antlers.
That's got to be another 50 pounds, 40 pounds of antler probably?
Yeah, probably about 40 pounds. And we have a reputation at our lodge of being trophy animals.
Yeah.
So Alaska state legal for a moose is 50-inch spread or wider.
Yeah.
We don't shoot them unless they're 60 inches or wider. And so it's just every bull we shoot is guaranteed to be.
We're going to need a bigger studio.
Yeah.
That's a wall.
That's a whole wall.
Yeah, our best moose this past season was 67 inches.
Wow.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, so they're a ton of work, but it's really gratifying work.
Yeah.
You get back to camp at the end of a moose pack out, and you've just done the hardest physical work you can do, and we're using horses for most of it.
Yeah.
And it's still, you're exhausted. You get in, and all you want to do is go to bed. You've got to take care of the horses, get the saddles off, get them fed, get them tied out on grass and water, and then you've got to make dinner. But at the end of the day, you have something really tangible you can show for the work you did.
Yep.
And it's just the best feeling.
So go into a little bit of detail about what it takes to become a guide. And then also, is the guides, like, would you become a guide just for moose or bear, or is it just you're a guide?
So,
because I know you're an apprentice right now.
Yeah.
Right? So you're going through learning the trait and kind of paying your dues.
Yeah.
Right? So eventually you're going to be the guy.
Yep.
So would you do everything? And what's that process? Because I know you just heard about it, but I don't know anything about it. So.
Right.
Yeah. So our process is a little bit of a longer packer period than most places because we have a reputation. We're the oldest hunting lodge in Alaska, and we try to, maintain the standard of we want to be the best. We are the best, but you can't slack. You have to improve. So our packer program is a 2-year program where you have to do a winter season, a summer season, and 2 hunting seasons as a packer. And
so, if you don't mind, what do you do in a winter season? What do you do in a summer season? And then what do you do in the packing season, like the hunting season, right? Like, what does a packer do? What's that job entail for those 2 or 3 different seasons?
Yeah, so summer season is, for a lot of people, it's kind of one of their favorite times of year to be out there. It's a lot of cabin repair work, a lot of general maintenance, but we also have some guests that want to come in and do just horseback rides or fishing. We do, once in the summer, we'll do a helicopter fishing tour where we have a helicopter come out and guests get to go ride out to a couple different lakes and do some fishing.
That would be awesome.
How about it?
And then,
What's the fish at that time?
so it depends on where you're fishing. Right off of our lodge property, we are on a lake fed by a stream, and we have a lot of Dolly Varden in that stream. And towards the end of the season, we do start getting salmon moving up our stream into our lake, but they're pretty worn out from the spawn run. So they're kind of chum salmon at that point, dying off.
Yeah.
If you really want to get into the salmon, you have to kind of go down into a more main river instead of a smaller tributary. But we go over with the helicopter to Jimmy Lake, and we've got grayling in there. We have Arctic char at Rainy Pass Lake.
Oh, they're
So
beautiful.
they are.
Yeah.
They're amazing fish. So there's a pretty good spread of fish you can catch,
Wow.
but sometimes you just have to travel a little to get there.
Have you mentioned using the chopper to get the meat out? Because I would say that on day one.
That would
Probably. I'd be like, yeah, guys, I'm not walking.
that would be
Drop me the line.
Yeah.
wonderful. But actually, the
Obviously,
Alaska
that's not a
hunting law
conversation.
is it's illegal to have assistance from a helicopter on your hunt to the
really?
extent where even if we were at camp
Yeah.
and a helicopter flew in, bring us some supplies,
Yeah.
that's it. Hunt's done.
For that day.
Yeah. For the hunt.
Oh,
You
really?
can't have helicopter assistance,
Whoa.
period.
Wow.
Now, we can have a float plane fly in, land on a lake, and drop supplies off at a camp, but there's just such a strict regulation on
Yeah.
using helicopters in Alaska for hunting.
Wow.
We won't do it, period.
So
That's crazy.
do they do the day you fly you can't hunt? Is that an Alaska rule?
Yeah, that is.
Unless it's commercial airline, right?
Oh, yeah.
So sort of what we have established is rather than going out and hunting on the day the hunters get in, they're going to be tired anyways. So we stay at the main lodge and we have a nice dinner. It's usually it's something good.
Fresh fish.
It's something good.
That's what I'm thinking. Dolly Varden or something.
It's always something good. And then hunters go to bed, and during that evening, we give them our safety speech. We tell them, what's expected of them, what they should expect of us, how the land and the nature of hunting can be dangerous, what they have to do to be safe. And so we give them all this information, and we send them off to bed. They can hang out, get to know each other a little, and the next morning, we wake up, and we get our horses ready, and we ride out to our camps. That way, we're not hunting the same day they fly in, and they get that time to have some refreshment, hanging out, and talking to people. And next morning, we're ready to go.
And you could have a couple clients come in at one time.
Yeah,
Like
so
you're taking 2 or 3 people out.
typically we have a 4-month or a 2-month season rather, and it's broken into 4 hunts. So we have groups of hunters come in for 2 weeks at a time. So we call them rendezvous nights. After a hunt wraps up, all the hunters and all the guides come back to the main lodge. We do another nice dinner. Next morning, we send them off and we get new clients. So we do entirely, instead of one hunter coming in at a time, going off with one guide, everyone swaps out at the same time. So
It's a good way to do it.
yeah, it's a really, it gives us a good system, a good time frame. We know when we're going to be back. There's no question about where you're going to be.
Do you fly from camp or horse from camp?
We horse from camp.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you horse from the main lodge to a smaller lodge?
Yep.
And then hunt from the outpost?
Yep. So there are rare occasions where if we're going out to a farther camp, sometimes a guide and a packer ride out and they take an extra horse with them and the client flies out and the next morning get to hunting. But that's not typical. Usually they get in, spend the night at the lodge, and then we ride out to camp, and when it's done, we ride back.
So is this public land? Or is it, and do you have like the rights to that? Or is it just, you're staying in actual cabins, or are they tents, or how's that work? You have to get a license to put a tent up, or I have so many questions.
He's trying to ask.
I'm sorry.
He's trying to ask if you can drop a pin and he can just go out there. Yeah. That's what this is.
Yeah. If I show up at your cabin and I'm already there,
You have a campfire? I don't know.
So it is public land.
Uh-huh.
Anyone's free to hunt the land we hunt, but we have small land leases. They're not even an acre. They're just enough so that we can put up a cabin.
Okay.
And we put a cabin on that land lease and hunt from there, but the land we're hunting is public land. Anyone's allowed to hunt there. There's sort of an understanding, though, of this is the territory Rainy Pass Lodge hunts, and we've hunted it. That lodge has been there going on 90 years. So it's pretty well known and respected.
Right.
This is our
And I'm
area.
sure the guides don't cross over because everybody's got their bread and butter.
Yep, and we've got our hunt units and typical areas we hunt. And we have had issues before with people dropping in, but if someone wanted to call us ahead of time and say, hey, this unit is closing for moose before the unit you're hunting, can we come hunt? We're totally willing to work around that and say, yeah, we've got horses, we're mobile.
Mm-hmm.
We can move over to the other side of the valley. We can let you hunt this area because, most people are coming in, they're packing everything out on their back. They shoot a moose, they don't want to shoot it more than a mile from their camp. So
Could you
kidding.
imagine packing a moose out on your back?
So what's what's your take home weight on a moose? I mean, it's 1,500 pounds on the hoof. That's
take home weight usually it's roughly 600 to 700 pounds of meat off a moose.
how do I
So you're
get
gonna
that
have
to
some
Pennsylvania?
Yeah, holy crap.
I mean, because it's good, right? Moose. They say moose
It
meat's
is.
one of the best.
It's great.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it is the closest game animal I've eaten to beef.
Yeah.
So, and there's a reason we raise cows. They're good eating.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's delicious. A lot of hunters don't want to bring that much home with them because that's a lot of meat. That's more than most people are going to eat in a year.
I'd want
Yeah.
every ounce.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
greedy.
Yeah.
I'd leave the horns behind to bring a steak home.
Yeah, oh, man.
That's where I'm at in life.
Yeah. So in those cases, the easiest thing to do is have it shipped. You're not flying it all back with you in your checked luggage.
Yeah.
Yep.
But a lot of times passengers will take 45 pounds of meat, checked luggage, and that's all they want. So we end up with a lot of excess moose meat there. It's a lot of what we eat, especially through the non-guest seasons when it's just staff working out there, especially the caretaking season. It's just 2 people living on the property taking care of the grounds. And in that season, there's a lot of moose. I've done a few of those caretaking seasons now, and there's a lot more moose meat than anything.
And you live on moose meat.
Yeah.
Can we just come hang out with you during that time?
this
Like,
sounds
I just want to
awesome.
come. Like, we'll dip a line, eat some moose meat.
I'll help you tend horses
Yeah.
if you feed me moose every
Yeah.
day. Like, that sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
I can fly a chopper if you need me.
Oh, there
Can
go.
you really?
No. I live in PA. What would I need to fly a chopper for? I'm just trying to get invited. That's all this is.
So that season,
It's a good idea. I'm with Jesse. I can fly a chopper
We can
too.
do that. No problem.
Two can ride together.
Yeah.
there's not as much to do during the caretaking season as there is every other time of year, and that's why we don't have guests. Freeze up season, it's exactly what it sounds like. The ground freezes, you start getting snow. You're not doing effective hunting that time of year. And there's a period where there's not enough ice on the lake to land a plane on skis, but there's too much ice to land a float plane, obviously. So you're kind of locked in.
Whoa.
And then there's the inverse of that, which we call breakup season. And that's when everything starts melting. The ice is getting too thin to land a ski plane, but it's not open water. You can't land a float plane. So it's another 2 months of being locked in. And actually, the first season I spent caretaking, I did a terrible job with my grocery list. They asked me for what I thought I was going to need, and I didn't tell them enough. So by the end of it, I was eating moose meat for 2 meals a day, and I was coming up with some pretty creative ways to cook
Kind of
it.
getting tired of that.
Yeah.
As opposed to breakup season for us used to be before the first weekend in October through what, second week in January? Like you didn't want to have a girlfriend during that time.
No,
that was hunting season.
That's right.
That's a totally different breakup season he's talking about. Yeah.
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 So that's a pretty cool time of year to be out there as a caretaker, but there's not much interest for guests that time of year.
Yeah.
I think we're very interested.
Yeah.
I mean, just hanging out and sitting by the.
And being forced to find new ways to cook moose meat.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. I mean,
Wink.
Shucks.
Make a couple calls, see if we need a couple more caretakers.
Yeah, I'm in. That sounds
We'll
awesome.
come out for a week or so. And,
Yeah.
You know.
So let me ask you this couple things real quick. First off, so you work for Rainy Pass Hunting Lodge, right?
It's
it's RAINEY?
RAINY.
No E.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
it's the Perrins Rainy Pass Lodge.
Parents, Rainy Pass
Yep.
Lodge. Okay.
He keeps adding words. Quit asking him.
Yeah.
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 Now
so
it's
just-
going to be the parents raining.
I'm going to start making up more words.
Randy's Pass Lodge East.
So you've been home since you've been working in Alaska as a packer. You've been home to hunt some of the Pennsylvania hunting seasons.
Yep.
Has it changed being in Alaska and seeing the professional side of hunting? Has it changed your perspective as a Pennsylvania deer hunter?
I would say, honestly, it hasn't very much.
Really?
Um,
That's great.
The way I grew
actually love hearing that.
Yeah.
Because you would just expect
Yeah.
maybe someone gets jaded because they saw the professional side of things. And so I love hearing that it didn't.
The way I grew up learning to hunt whitetail in Pennsylvania, it's worked all this time for me. So I kind of subscribe to the if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
So I've kept hunting whitetail the same way I did before I went up there. The two biggest differences that I've found are I got acclimated to an Alaskan winter. So now when I go out to hunt, I'm sweating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And deer look a lot smaller.
Yeah.
I shot a doe on one of the first days this past season. I was, waiting for the buck, but he wasn't coming in. It was last shooting light.
Uh-huh.
So I shot this doe, and it was a good sized doe, one you would normally be pretty happy with. And I walked up to it, and I was like, I just shot a yearling. This thing is tiny.
He just grabs it by the back legs, casually puts it in his backpack, and walks out.
Yeah, I actually...
It's like the whole quarter of a moose right there.
Exactly.
Gets on the radio, bring the chopper. We got a doe down.
I called my dad and I told him, I was like, yeah, I shot a doe. It's kind of small. Later on, he saw it and he was like, that's a good doe. It's like,
My perspective's off a little bit.
yeah.
You got that Alaska perspective.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, the entire time I was in Alaska, we were wearing 2 sweatshirts and a jacket and everything because it was in it. I mean, even in June, it's 40s and I come back here to 80 and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm dying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You get acclimated pretty quick too.
Yeah. I spent the winter up there and we're always on the move when we're outside working. We ride snowmobiles, except in Alaska we call them snow machines.
Yeah,
Yep.
you can't be.
Yep. Someone calls them a snowmobile up there. We know they're not from Alaska.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you got to know the lingo if you're gonna go, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to be part of this? You're going to be part of this? What is it? Caretaking season or not?
Oh yeah,
You start talking about snowmobile back.
You're out.
Your butt's going back to the lower 48.
Get your helicopter and fly home.
Jesse will take you home in the helicopter.
We're not going to make it far.
Yeah, but we're moving. Riding snow machines isn't, it's not sedentary. You're shifting your weight, trying to keep your balance, and then by the time you're getting off your snow machine, it's because you're in the woodlot. You're ready to cut down firewood, so you're firing up your chainsaw and you're working. And a lot of days what I've discovered is if it's 0 degrees out and I'm moving and working that much, I'll wear a base layer, a thin sweater, and an outer layer. And by the time I'm off my machine and ready to really work, I'm ditching that jacket, and sometimes I'm ditching that sweater, and I'm down to just one base layer because you're working. You're staying warm, and you acclimate so fast to that it feels normal.
Okay, so can you access your camp by road?
No.
Okay. How do you get the snow machine there? I have so many questions. I'm a logistics guy, and this bothers me. How do you get the snow machine there?
You ride them. You buy them in town, and you ride machines out.
Can I get that job?
How far is town? Like, what do you say town? Like, is that 100 miles or 20 miles?
Yeah, so when I say town, I'm referring to Anchorage.
Right, okay.
Oh, okay.
And that's by air, I want to say it's 130 miles. So by trail, it's probably 150. You're twisting and turning.
So it's like a 2-3 day ride or something?
Nope.
No, not at 150 mile an hour. Only an hour.
Actually, the snowmobiles coming out there, it's usually, it depends on the machine and the rider.
Yeah.
But oftentimes it's no more than an 8-hour trip.
Yeah.
Okay, that's averaging 20 mile an hour-ish.
Well, and that's on our little, we ride Yamaha Bravos from the 90s. They're not exactly race machines.
Yeah, probably because the guy doesn't want to make the trip again.
Yeah.
I would.
We are along a race route for a race called the Iron Dog, and it is a snow machine race that goes from Big Lake, which is near Anchorage, to Nome. And the trail class stops in Nome. The pro class goes back to Anchorage. Those guys come through like that.
Oh, yeah.
They start, and a couple hours later, they're flying past our lodge. And they go the whole way to Nome and back. Pro class, I think the record, it's time-based, and you get a certain amount of rest time not counted against your clock. Record is something around 50 hours for 2,500 miles.
Gosh. Wow.
It's like the Cannonball Run of the lower 48.
Yeah.
You and I would be bad on that trip, though, because we've often talked about how we always want to see the view over the next ridge.
Yeah.
So if the trail was a straight shot, Joe and I's trail would be like,
over here.
like drunk squirrels.
Yeah.
It'd be like, what's over there?
What is he doing off the trail? Oh, he saw something.
We'd be gone for 60 steps. By the time we get there, snow would be melting. We'd be driving them in on mud.
What place did we get?
So have
What place?
So have you gotten to view Denali, Mount McKinley?
So I have not gone out of my way to view it.
Yeah.
But the flight from Anchorage to our lodge on a clear weather day, you look out the right side of the plane and there it is.
No way. Awesome.
Yeah. So I've gotten to see it quite a few times from the air.
So you know the rarity, though. They say like 30% of the people never see any part of it, and like 10% of the people see the whole thing.
Yep.
We saw it not one, not two, but 3 days in a row.
Nice.
Like we hit the perfect weather pattern.
Oh, good for you guys.
Oh, gorgeous. And the first morning we saw it, we got up at 4 o'clock, we got on the bus at 5 a.m. to take a tour through Denali Park.
Yeah.
And we're winding back through, and only buses can go so far. You have passes and all this stuff. And the driver says, and if anybody recognizes out, about your 1 o'clock right now, you'll see the great one, Denali. And it just lit up an entire different color than anything else.
Yep.
Just amazing. And that's what just kind of strikes me with Alaska. Everybody says, well, how was your trip? I said, everything you look out at looks like it's painted.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get any work done there because I constantly just found myself in awe. It was like every time it was like we hung a picture on the wall and you're looking out and like, oh no, that's the window.
Yep.
Right. It's the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you and
we should take Jesse.
We've all had the pleasure of seeing the Rocky Mountains, right, in the lower 48. And you know, from Pennsylvania boys, you're like, well,
That's awesome.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You
If
know,
I didn't know any better, that's the best thing I've ever
you
seen.
see the Alaskan landscape, and you wouldn't think like Wyoming or Montana that it could get more beautiful than that. And then you see the Alaskan landscape, and you're like, Montana doesn't hold a candle.
Yeah.
And it's
Takes
so
your breath
crazy
away.
to say that. It really does. It's beautiful.
So I've been wanting to ask you this from the beginning. So this is a good time to get there. How did you get to Alaska? Like, seriously, you're a central PA boy.
Yeah.
What happened?
That's kind of a funny story.
They usually are.
So
They
my
heard
friend-
about his uncle, Teddy,
Yeah.
and hired him like that.
I'm sure they saw the
yeah,
name and they
something
called
like
him.
that.
Thank God they hadn't heard of his uncle Teddy. They wouldn't have gotten a job.
Yeah. So, my longtime best friend, Cooper, I grew up with him. I've known him since I was about 5 years old, went to school together. He actually found the job before me, and he was looking through some of the social media about Alaska, and he found a listing for this lodge, and they were looking to hire 2 new packers, and it was kind of this type of deal where they had hundreds of applicants already. And he sent in a resume anyways, and he thought, you know what, it can't hurt to send one. But as it happened, one of their guys who typically kind of just stays around the lodge and works on upkeep he's almost always there. This season, for whatever reason, he decided he was going to go do something else for a couple months. And so they said, well, we'll hire him as a potential packer. If nothing else, he can fill the role of our other guy, Travis, and he can take care of things around the lodge. And he did well, and so they thought, all right, next season we want to have him back as a packer. He had only been there for a couple weeks of the hunting season, and at the end of hunting season, it immediately goes into caretaking. Then they had 2 caretakers lined up to come out and look after the property. They got in a car accident. They weren't badly hurt or anything, but it threw a wrench in their works, and they called and said, hey, we can't do it this season, can't come out. And he said, I'll do it. I'll stay.
Yeah.
And they said, all right, we need 2 people for safety. You know, you can't be out here alone. And they were going to send Travis, the man he had replaced. And he said, actually, I've got this friend back home that would love this. You know, this is our bread and butter, doing stuff outdoors. And he called me and said, I might have a job opportunity for you in Alaska, but the caretaking season starts in 2 weeks. And I said, all right, I'm there. 11 days later, I was on a plane.
Nice.
So they, in essence, left the caretaking duties of their entire lodge up to one guy who's only been there for a couple months, and
Couple weeks.
and one guy who flew out like on the spot.
Yep.
What were you doing before that? If you don't mind me asking. Like,
I
were you-
was working for a local contractor doing plumbing work.
Oh, thank God he didn't say a banker.
Well, I'm
After I just said that earlier.
Yeah.
really offended him there.
Dodged a bullet there.
He didn't put his 2 weeks in. He just got on the plane and left.
Oh, essentially, I told my boss, I said, hey, look,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'd like to give you a proper 2 weeks notice,
But
I'm
this
leaving in
opportunity.
10
Yeah,
days.
it's once in a lifetime.
And he told me, he said, you know what, when I was a young man, I went out to Colorado and I had that same drive to go and experience things. I understand it. When you come back, if you come back,
Yeah.
there's a job for you if you want it.
Yeah.
So I left on good terms. And actually, last year, for part of the time I was home, I did go back and work.
Oh, yeah.
I was home for a few months and
That's a good,
spent some time picking
that's a
up
good
shifts.
guy.
And
Yeah.
give you that opportunity.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
I was really grateful. And in a lot of ways, the work I did at home, I had done some electrical work and more plumbing work for that contractor. It prepared me in ways I didn't expect.
Oh, yeah.
So now at the lodge, when there's a plumbing issue,
Yep.
they ask me
You're the
about
guy.
it.
Yeah.
And in fact, the first season I was out there doing the caretaking, we ran off 2 generators. And we shut them off 10 o'clock at night, turned them on 6 in the morning. So between those hours, you've got no power. And we had a large and a small generator. And they burn diesel. But that's that freeze up season where planes can't get in and out.
Yeah.
So the amount of diesel you have going in is all you have until planes start flying again. And our small generator that we ran off of died. And I tried everything I could. There was no way to bring it back. And so we had to run the large generator. That uses 7 times as much fuel. And we were getting in a way where we're not going to have any power. And you can do it. We heat with wood so we wouldn't freeze, but you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah.
And
Man.
We're gonna have to make cowboy coffee because the old Keurig is not gonna fire up on.
In fact, we were running the big generator for a max of 5 hours a day to try to conserve our fuel. So we were making our coffee in a percolator.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And eventually, the fix was they hired a helicopter and had him bring a new generator in on a sling. And he landed it in the yard of the lodge. And we had to take our Kubota tractor, put forks on it, and drive it up to our generator building. And because I had the experience working for the contractor and I had learned some electrical work, my boss said, I'm probably going to have to send a guy out to install this. I said, no, I've done generator installs.
Yeah.
So it really came in handy, that experience. Kind of saved us there.
Amazon shipped it 2 days. It'd be
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, no problem.
right? Prime. I mean, you got to splurge.
You got to splurge on the Prime.
Yeah.
We'll wait till they start delivering with drones.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you can have that.
It's a lot of battery to get there.
Especially
couple drones rigged together with a harness.
especially to carry a generator.
Drops the Harbor Freight generator.
Yeah. Drops a Predator on your back door.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Good shape.
It's funny how those jobs that you don't think are your lifelong dream or whatever, they pay off in the long run.
They do.
Yeah. Like, I had a job, I kind of took a couple months out of college, and my cousin ended up going to the Coast Guard early. So that left a spot on a construction crew that they needed filled. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing anything else. I might as well work construction for a couple months. Well, that paid off dividends in the long run because I remodeled my own house myself, and he was all inclusive, So I did some electrical work, I did some plumbing work, I did some, gas line, all that stuff, and everything else you Google, right? Yep. So just the mechanical abilities. After
He's only
that,
had one fire at his house, so I mean, not a big deal.
Yeah,
No, I'm just kidding.
burn it to the ground. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, you get to build another one. Do it better.
Yeah, I'll learn the next time not to put those two wires together.
I do have a question. So I've only been to Alaska. I've never been to Alaska. I've only seen it on TV and stuff. So how bad are the bugs?
Oh,
Like, are they terrible in the summer?
the bugs are bad.
They're legit.
Because
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah,
been.
it's
Is
just,
They
the
are.
mosquito is the state bird.
it bad right now? Or
Yes.
like
I have a picture.
Yeah.
I am putting
I
that
don't know.
picture up.
So the first mosquitoes that you start to see, it's kind of funny. A couple times we've gone and cut down trees for firewood, and we'll knock down a tree, and you're looking around. There's a mosquito. There's a foot of snow on the ground, but there's a mosquito in the air.
they're just that tough.
And
That
until
they survive in the winter.
until it's winter again and
insane.
it's snowing, there are mosquitoes. And some people, they don't bite as much. I'm one of the people who they really bite.
I'm with you.
So for me,
Same.
I go up there. One day I went out for an hour-long ride, taking a couple guests out. Didn't wear any bug spray. The back of my neck and my hands and face were the only things not covered. And I probably had at least 5 bites on each hand, and I had bites on my face and about 15 on the back of my neck.
Yep.
And they're just, they eat you alive.
Would that be the worst part up there? You think is the bugs or?
At first when I started dealing with the bugs, I might have said that, but eventually you kind of get used to it and you're like, all right, I'm going to be a little bit itchy when I go to bed every night, but I'll get over it.
So it makes you tough.
Yeah. In a way, it teaches you things and it teaches you your limits in ways you never would have otherwise experienced.
Yeah.
I've dealt with more cold up there than I would have thought I could have handled. I've dealt with tons of bugs, late nights, long days, and some early mornings. And as long as you're able to kind of roll with the punches, you do a lot of growing.
So it sounds, from my own background, the lessons learned in guiding are really similar to the lessons you learn in military service, in that you learn how tough you are, what you're capable of, what you're able to achieve. My unit was a reserve unit, and we talked a lot about this. It was really interesting in a good cohesive reserve unit, because all those Marines there, we had our Marine Corps training for our jobs, right? And our combat training. And then you also, every Marine there brought their civilian skill set to the table as well.
Right.
Whereas in a guide, when you're living in a lodge like that and you're really put to the test, I mean, not to make it sound too cheesy, but you're put to the test in almost life or death situations almost daily, right? And you've got to rely on Cooper, and Cooper has to rely on you, and you guys have to rely on each other's skill set, and you bring something different to the table than Cooper does. And then CJ, you were saying that he's a guide there that you and him got along really well. And, everybody brings these different things to the table. You all have your training as outdoorsmen. You all have your training and skill set as guides, but each one of you have an individual skill set that you're going to bring to help kind of keep the lodge and camp and everything rolling smoothly.
Absolutely.
It's really interesting when you get a group of like-minded, I was going to say guys, but it doesn't have to be just guys, right? It's not a gender thing, but you get a group of like-minded people together and you put the pressure to them, right? By being in an adverse situation, put the pressure, and really you start to see what everybody brings to the table, and you realize everybody brings something different to the table, and it's what makes it work. It's really neat when you get to experience that.
Oh, absolutely. And we have guys who are great at some things and don't know much in another field. Where I bring plumbing and some knowledge of electrical work to the table, we have guys who didn't grow up doing that kind of work, but they have other things. Zachary, who works for our lodge, we kind of like to poke fun at him. He's not much of a builder, so cabin remodels and stuff, that's not his forte, but he is an incredible outdoorsman, and he's one of the guys you could go to for any problem you're having and say, hey, I'm in this situation. What advice do you have? He's a solid guy to talk to about problems you're having, and incredibly capable in the outdoors arena. You want someone that can get up and over that mountain faster than anyone else. He's the guy to go to. He lacks, some of that construction ability. So in that way, everyone has things like that where they're good at one thing, maybe not as good at another.
You round each other out as a group.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It all comes together to be a really cohesive group of people that...
If you guys all had the same skills, you'd fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
Honestly, you'd have 4 people that can fix a sink, but nobody that knows anything about a generator.
It's like having a team full of first basemen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, as long as they don't get the second, you win.
I think
Somebody's got to pitch.
Right.
something that I kind of want to sneak in here before we wrap this up, and maybe it's because we just did a gear episode. What is there some gear? I know you brought some gear. Is there some gear that you feel is just night and day? Like you have to have it, right? Is there some gear that you would say keeps you getting that extra mile, pushing further, getting another hour outside, getting you to survive Alaska?
Yep.
Is there some gear that you just feel you wouldn't go back next season without it?
Yeah. So I would say my opinions on this are constantly changing as I find different gear that I like. One huge thing is good shoes.
Yeah.
I wear...
We just talked about this on our gear on last week's gear episode.
Yeah.
Boots are so important.
So most of what we wear up there is lacrosse hip boots.
Okay.
And that's because we're going through swamps.
Yeah.
Everything's wet. And so much of what you're doing in Alaska, you're going to get wet.
Yeah.
So a lot of your gear is based around trying to stay dry.
Yep.
So we wear lacrosse hip boots, but you also want to have a good pair of hiking boots that you can climb. You're going sheep hunting. You don't want to be going up a mountain in a pair of hip boots. So you need another pair of boots you can throw on that are going to be lighter and
So
more comfortable.
What's your go-to right now on that front?
Right now, I'm wearing Irish Setter elk trackers, and I wouldn't have originally thought that those would be my go-to boot, but they've turned out to be great. They're 12-inch tops on them, so they give you a good amount of protection, and they're fully waterproof, but they're a leather boot, and they're Gore-Tex lined, so you can get them different amounts of insulation. This year I changed. Last year I had 600 gram insulated. This year I went to 1,000 gram for the winter. And I mean, it's hard to spend a winter in Alaska with bad boots.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
And it's amazing. Those boots have kept my feet warm in times where I really didn't expect them to. And if I'm out and it's 20 below zero, I can wear them and be out there all day, and I'm not going to freeze up. So I would say shoes are a huge part of my gear.
Yep.
Lately, I've been favoring a lot of Kuiu gear for the more, fancier end of guide gear. Yeah. But there's no problem with, if you want to go more old school, my boss, who I think is probably one of the best guides in Alaska right now, he wears a Carhartt jacket. And he's killing more animals than anyone else.
Yeah.
And his clients are happy.
You look a lot of these old school guys.
Jeans and a Carhartt jacket.
I was just gonna say that they're wearing blue jeans and flannels, and they're getting it done day after day after day.
Yep. So there's it really falls into what you're comfortable wearing. Yep. If you're comfortable, your head's in the game. If you're uncomfortable, you're distracted.
Yeah.
So if you can be comfortable in a pair of blue jeans and a flannel, go for it.
Yep. So we talked earlier today because I'm in the market for a new pack, and I think I found the pack that I wanted to go with. And you had showed me you have an external frame pack that you use, and I love it. And the frame on it's fantastic. What was the brand of that pack again?
It's made by Barney's Sports Chalet in Anchorage.
Okay.
So you're not going to find them in a retail store.
Yeah.
They're not sold in Cabela's. Okay. You have to go to Barney's Sports Chalet to get one of those packs. You can call and order a pack.
Okay. Yeah, that was an impressive pack. Yeah. Because I like the thought of an external frame pack, and they're hard to find. Most people have gone to the internal frame.
Yeah.
But I like the versatility of an external frame.
Absolutely.
I ran one for the first couple elk trips I went on, and for packing out, I like the external frame a lot more.
Yep.
Yeah.
What I didn't like with it, because I wander a lot and sometimes through the brush and the dark timber and everything, those things sticking up there, I catch, and they catch limbs and stuff like that. So
that'll, that's something you're thinking about a lot because you're going to walk through branches, catch stuff. And a lot of times what we're doing, since we're a horseback operation, is we can rig those packs to the back of our saddle. And until we're off our horses, we don't need to have that pack on our back.
That makes a lot of sense.
That saves us a lot of that frustration. But we go with every guide at our lodge runs a Barney's pack because they're big enough and strong enough you can fit a moose rear quarter in them and carry them.
Well, the pack might be.
Right.
This back, probably not.
And it was funny. Earlier you said about a whitetail, that's one moose quarter. It really is a rear quarter on a moose after we've skinned it and we've got it in our pack. That's 160 pounds.
You're not deboning that, right?
No, we don't debone.
Yeah.
So some units actually have rules where you can or can't debone.
Okay.
And we are in a unit where you're not allowed to take the meat off the bone.
Oh, wow.
So we have to pack it all out.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably carrying your weight out of there.
Oh,
you're probably
and then some.
Yeah, I was gonna say that could get.
Yeah, you've got gear plus the moose in your pack, and luckily, unless you're in a swamp, you can get your horses right there. But sometimes you are in a swamp,
and you're still making a bunch of trips.
So
that's a lot of work.
You're wearing hip boots because you're walking through a swamp. Now you're strapping 160 pounds and a pack on your back. I didn't see the statistics on this, but how many people drown in Alaska in a year?
I believe it's high.
So we've actually had some kind of hairy situations before doing things like moose packouts, and a big part of where things can get sketchy is the muskeg swamps,
Oh yeah.
because it looks the same as the ground you've been riding on. And suddenly, you go out there on your horse and the ground bounces.
It's like the old water beds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our general rule of thumb is 3 horses can cross over a section of muskeg swamp once. But that moss and vegetation starts to tear and break, and sometimes you can't even cross over it once. And you'll ride over, especially if you're loaded heavy with moose. Now, you're not riding your horse when you've got moose on it. That's a lot of weight for your animal.
Yeah.
But we've had situations where suddenly you sink and you're in a swamp. And I ran into one of those this past season where I was riding and we were going to our moose kill to start our pack out. And my horse broke through the top layer of this muskeg swamp, and she's kicking and freaking out. And all you can do is bail off the horse and try to get clear of its hooves so you don't get stomped. And then your horse has to make it out of the swamp.
Every man and horse for himself at that point, huh? Everybody's.
Yeah.
Wow. That'd be.
We generally, we have good ideas of where swamps are. We all run Onyx so we can mark things. Hey, this is a bad area. And we tell other guides and packers, this is a bad place. You don't want to go here. It can get dangerous. So we have a lot of ways we kind of mitigate that risk. But
Do you have self-service where you're at?
No.
Yeah. So you're running the offline Onyx.
Yep. We download big areas on the map, and we just, we have to rely on the GPS. And
Wow. Do you have internet at not at the cabin, but I guess at the main cabin?
we do. Yeah,
Okay.
we have Starlink at the main cabin. We have a couple Starlinks there. And we do actually take a portable Starlink to our out camps with us.
Oh, really?
But we don't use it to use internet. We have a little generator. We're not going to fire it up as soon as we get back to camp and everyone's watching movies, because part of what's so nice about the whole experience is disconnecting.
Right.
So we just have the Starlinks there because it's actually cheaper than buying minutes on a satellite phone. So we can call back to the main lodge, say, hey, we got an animal today. Or, hey, we want to move to a different camp. We're not seeing much. Is anyone at this camp? Can we move? Can we switch?
Well, maybe the next time you're at the main camp, we'll get you to call in and do a little podcast remote.
That was originally my thought.
That'd be cool. Just
and then, because we communicate while you're up there pretty often, and it called me and said, coming home. And I thought, while you're home, we'll just get you in here for a show. But we would love to do
a
episode
remote
with
one.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
So cool.
I mean, I'd offer to come out and help, but I don't want to bring my group with me. I know. I was told, "Oh, we'll help you pack it out," and then on day one, a certain individual said, "I got a bad knee, just so you know."
Yeah.
I don't know if you have packers up there like that.
Yeah.
An animal hits the ground and they go, "I got a bad knee."
Yeah. Suddenly one's using his age.
Yeah.
And
One's
I'm,
using his
I'm
age.
87. Oh, well, we're going to put the pack on.
5 minutes ago, he's on an e-bike doing 50
Yeah,
mile an
doing
hour
50
down the
mile
road.
out down the road. Well,
Yeah, long story.
yeah.
Another time.
Another time. Finn, thank you for coming in, talking to us.
Absolutely.
We
Thanks
will
for having
definitely,
me.
we'd love to, come visit you. But obviously, we'd love to have you on another time when you're up in Alaska. We can do a little remote in type of thing. That'd be awesome. But
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And would love to have you on once you've gotten into that season where you're guiding
Yeah.
and kind of talk to you about the difference from where you're at now.
the
and
packer
into that next-
perspective to guide perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Love
Best-
that you came. Thanks,
Best
man.
of luck, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
luck on your adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Can't wait to see the success next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he has sent me some photos of some animals that he's part of getting, and I'll get them to you. We'll
Okay.
splice them in here.
Well, we'll throw some up
He's
there.
had some incredible experience.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, for our listeners, I mean, if you're Pennsylvania or, we've got some listeners in some other states now, but, you can find yourself in Alaska being a guide,
Yeah.
I'm sure 2 or 3 years ago when you were working as a plumber, you weren't thinking that in 11 days from now, I'm going to be on my way to Alaska to start my career as a hunting guide. So,
Or if you're in PA and you're looking for a guide service.
Rainy pass.
Yeah.
It's a great
Yeah.
opportunity, you know.
The biggest thing I can tell anyone who wants to go to Alaska, you know, if they want to move there and work there, you don't have to have everything planned out. You can have a rough idea. Get to Alaska. There's work. There's a ton of work.
Wow.
Get there.
Yeah.
Get work. And it's
like
It really is the last frontier.
It is.
Yeah.
You just go there and make it happen.
Everywhere
Yeah.
everywhere we went in when we were in Alaska, people were from literally anywhere.
yeah.
Anywhere.
Love that. So
Yeah.
cool.
It's like where people just stop off when they want to do something different for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
So very cool.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks,
All
Finn.
right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Appreciate
All right.
it.
Thanks all of our listeners. We'll be back in touch
Sooner than later.
sooner than later.